Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers' Arthur Smith floated as candidate for head coaching role. Winning NFL teams can sometimes have several assistant coaches named candidates for head coach openings. The Pittsburgh Steelers will apparently be no different this fall, particularly with former head coach Arthur Smith on their staff. On 3 Sports, Andy Staples included Smith on a list of potential candidates for the North Carolina head coach opening on November 26. Smith played at North Carolina from 2001 to 2005 before becoming a graduate assistant under John Bunting. He then embarked on an NFL coaching career that led to a head coaching stint with the Atlanta Falcons, where he went 21-30 from 2021 to 23, Staples wrote. Smith landed this season with the Steelers, where he has juggled Russell Wilson and Justin Fields at quarterback. Smith is the son of FedEx founder and chairman Fred Smith. In the great search for corporate nil money in the revenue share era, that could be quite the connection. Smith is in his first season as Steelers offensive coordinator. Under his tutelage and play calling, the Steelers enter Week 13 ranked 18th in yards per game and 14th in points per contest. Pittsburgh is also 8th in rushing yards and 26th in passing yards per game this season. Smith has done an admirable, but probably not terrific, job in his first season as Steelers offensive coordinator. He's navigated starting 2 different quarterbacks in different stages of their careers. The Steelers have winning records with both signal callers, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. His offense system doesn't feature an innovative passing attack. So, he won't be the most inspiring hire of the next coaching cycle if he lands a new head coaching job. But Smith has established dominant rushing attacks at multiple stops in the NFL. In the past 6 seasons, his offenses have been ranked in the top 10 in rushing 5 times. On 3 occasions over the last 6 years, his offenses featured top 3 rushing attacks. Smith received his first offensive coordinator opportunity with the Tennessee Titans in 2019. In his offense, Derrick Henry led the league in rushing twice and quarterback Ryan Tannehill revitalized his career. Smith served as offensive play caller when he was head coach of the Atlanta Falcons from 2021 to 23. His Falcons offense led the NFL in rushing yards during 2022. As Falcons head coach, Smith posted 3 7-10 campaigns, registering an overall record of 21-30. Although ultimately unsuccessful, that previous experience could be attractive to the right college program this offseason. If Smith becomes a head coach again, he will be the first Steelers assistant to leave for a head coaching role since 2007. No assistant under head coach Mike Tomlin has ever departed the Steelers directly to become a head coach. That's an astonishing fact, given the amount of success Tomlin has experienced in the NFL. It's not clear yet if Smith is actually interested in the North Carolina opening. Staples' explanation of why Smith is a potential candidate outlined why the Tar Heels could be interested in Smith, not the other way around. North Carolina is 6-5 this season. The Tar Heels haven't reached double-digit victories since 2015. Smith played 1 game as a player at North Carolina from 2001 to 2005. He then started his coaching career as a graduate assistant with the Tar Heels in 2006. But the past 14 seasons, Smith has coached in the NFL. Smith isn't the only Steelers assistant who pundits have loosely connected to a college head coach opening ahead of Week 13. The Athletic's Chris Van Eine named Steelers wide receivers coach Zach Azzanni a candidate for the head coaching job at Central Michigan. Kozora, the Worms turned on Arthur Smith, and why I'm not jumping ship. What a difference 2 weeks make. Heading into the Baltimore Ravens game, Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith received good marks across the board. Not great marks, but the fan base appreciated the job he was doing to jumpstart a dormant Steelers offense. Now, the pitchforks are here to run him out of town. two lackluster performances against the Ravens and Cleveland Browns have large chunks of the Steelers nation ready to try again with their third coordinator in as many years. When news broke yesterday of Smith reportedly being open to the North Carolina head coaching job, the universal response on my Twitter timeline was, "We'll help you pack." To steal the Shakespeare phrase, the worm has turned. Smith has seemingly worn out his welcome, or at least, the honeymoon phase is long gone. He hasn't reached Matt Canada levels of loathing, his name hasn't been plastered on any college game day signs, yet, but the dissatisfaction is clear. I'm not in that camp. And I've been critical of Smith the past 2 weeks for underwhelming to poor game plans. I took a comprehensive review of his scheme against the Cleveland Browns and came away disappointed, especially with the team's run plan. Too similar, too repetitive, too often leaning into exactly what wasn't working. Short weeks makes things tough, but that's what separates the good from bad coaches. Still, don't be so quick to cast him overboard. Overall, he's brought positive change to the Steelers' offense. From a baseline productivity standpoint, Pittsburgh is better. Much better. Nearly 6 points per game worth of improvement from a season ago. An average scoring offense that got the Steelers out of the basement Matt Canada had them in, oscillating between 17 and 18 points per season under his helm. Improved quarterback play is one factor that's helped Smith. But Russell Wilson is averaging more points per game in 5 starts with Pittsburgh, 25.6, than he did in 15 starts with the Denver Broncos under known offensive guru Sean Payton in 2023, 21.8, or in 2022, 16.9. Some of that production came up on the lowly New York Jets and Giants, but their defenses are far better than their offenses. The Jets and Giants are middle of the road in scoring defense, and Wilson had lots of success against them. Overall, Smith's created sound schemes for Justin Fields and Wilson. Managing Fields to prevent him from falling back on old Chicago habits and opening things up more for Wilson, getting more out of him than the Broncos could in 2 seasons. Largely, he's playing to his players' strengths, and that's the ultimate mark of a good coach. He's elevating the talent of Wilson, of W.R. Calvin Austin III, of T.E. Darnell Washington, to name a few. First drive production remains a problem under Arthur Smith like it did under Matt Canada. Pittsburgh isn't finding the end zone, but they're at least finding points, 6 fields on opening possessions this year. It's better than the 3-and-out punts Canada became infamous for. Red zone scoring is an eyesore and Smith must improve there, but there's also been some bad luck. A questionable penalty against Denver in Week 2, lots of small issues against the Giants in Week 8. Things that Smith can't be blamed for. Overall, this offense has been better. Former All-Pro RB calls out fake Steelers fans who want Mike Tomlin fired. After the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Cleveland Browns, there were the usual storm of fans who called for Mike Tomlin to be fired. Fresh off an off-season extension, Tomlin seems unlikely to be canned. However, he has not won a playoff game since 2016, and that has fueled the fire for some that want to see a new coach for the Steelers. However, the former Steelers running back, Le'Veon Bell, does not understand why anyone would want the team to fire Tomlin. He aimed at Steelers fans who expressed that opinion, deeming anyone who wants Tomlin fired a fake fan. If you're a Steeler fan and you're saying fire Mike Tomlin, then you're not a real Steelers fan, Bell said on X. Tomlin's future with the Steelers is not in doubt either way. The Steelers will not fire him, especially after an 8-3 start to the season. However, team president Art Rooney too did say this offseason that he hopes the Steelers can break their playoff drought because everyone is tired of the lack of playoff success within the organization. Still, Tomlin's job over the last few seasons was more than enough to get an extension, and he will be with the Steelers for the foreseeable future. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike Tomlin? Leave your opinion in the comments.